Better. Big dog. There we go. Okay, so we just went through that whole spiel and no sound. That's awesome. Yeah, let's kind of go through that again just a little bit.
Do you want to start off with your name again? Just completely
okay.
Start now that we have people actually in here.
Yeah, there we go.
So my name is Miguelangel Manzanarez, and I'm originally from Gainesville, Florida. I guess a little spiel about me is I'm a first generation here in the U.S. from Nicaragua. Growing up, there was a belief that if you spoke Spanish at the house or if your parents didn't speak English, they had to put you in special classes. So they put me in ESOL and Title I, but it wasn't what we needed, because I spoke perfect English. It was fine.
Right.
But over time, they saw us like, wow, he doesn't really have any developmental issues or any issues with the language. So slowly but surely, people started realizing, oh, this kid's got something's different, something's special.
Right.
So growing up, fast forwarding a few years, like I was always interested in helping my community. So in middle school, I worked with special needs kids. I was a peer mediator, peer tutor. So I would come in before school and after school to work with kids who either had special needs, ADHD, autism. We worked with a few.
So you worked with the whole spectrum, pretty much.
Because for us, it wasn't just labeling these kids.
Mm-hmm.
It was just like, how do we provide an extra hand? Be it like, how do we do? They didn't even realize it was speech therapy, but it would be actually like we would try to engage, especially with kids with Down syndrome. We try to engage them to say words, or how to we would make games or things to engage them to make it interesting.
So, question: what got you started in the special needs field? Like, I know you were talking about, people noticed that there was something special, but what I guess attracted you to that?
Well, I guess I've always liked helping people. I grew up in a household that we always put other people first.
Right.
But then I think with the key moment.
That's all right. I have brain farts all the time. Like,
it's worse when you live and
this guy, he really does have issues.
Trust me. Like anything you say, we probably have said worse already.
Oh so man, yeah. I've tripped up over my words several times.
You're doing good.
So yeah. I think the main thing was my sister was diagnosed with ADHD and dyslexia.
Okay.
So she had really, really, really hard time in school. So back since my mom didn't speak,
I can relate. Yeah,
it was real tough on her, and she didn't pass third grade.
Okay.
So there was this stigma. It's like, oh, she's Spanish, oh, she has ADHD. The principal even told my mom, she's like, you should just medicate her and try to find ways so that she's not going to accomplish anything in this life. Is basically what the principal of the school said. My mom's like, wait a minute, my daughter is
hold up, B.
Smart.
Yeah, hold up, B.
And my sister
just give up on your child.
Exactly. She's like, yeah, she's gonna be a hoe. That's most girls who have ADHD go out and they're hoes. That's exactly
what the principal said.
She's like, she'll go on the street.
Dude, those are some fighting words, especially for a Spanish mama.
Hell no,
rip off the belt, whoop that principal's ass.
So then I saw how my sister struggled, and I saw that my mom was just so proactive about it. She did a bunch of research, and my mom did not give my sister medication. She just went throughout the holistic method. She tried giving her supplements and vitamins like omega-3 oils, and that wasn't the main part. It was like how my sister went through this struggle. I was like, there's other kids out there who have the same thing. I remember growing up and trying to read with my sister and try to help her out with homework. But in my mind, it was tough because I didn't understand the frustration. And at that age, you're not really as patient as you should be. But then I realized there was a need to help kids. And since my household was always orientated around helping people, that's what drew me into that. And then middle school came around. They had that program. I would come in before school and help kids with their homework, or if they had a project they needed an extra, an idea or stuff like that. I got you. I would help out.
So what's the age gap between you and your sister?
About 2 years.
2 years. So you're the older one?
I'm the older one.
Okay. How old are you?
I'm 24.
24. Okay. So you're right in between us. I'm 25. He's 22. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, okay. So your sister, there's a 2-year age gap. And at this point, how old were you when you guys found out that, that the principal said that?
Yeah, I was around the age of I think it was fourth. No. Yeah, because that was the year that we used to be a year apart.
Right.
It became 2 years in grade school because she failed the third grade. And instead of getting help with it, just back then there wasn't much understanding of what ADHD and dyslexia was.
Right.
It was just either do it or just do it.
So here's a question: do you feel a lot of people are kind of overdiagnosed with ADD and everything like that?
that question is like saying, because I work in the medical field, it's like saying, how do you cure the common cold? Well, certain people are just have either proclivities or their immune system isn't as strong. Some people just have a harder time to learn.
Right.
Some people are just hands-on learning. Other people are just visual learners. Like in my case, before I could just look at a page, learn it, turn the page, look at the page, turn it. I wouldn't have to read.
Right.
But my sister would have to literally, with her finger, line by word, go through it
and figure out what the heck it says.
And then my
dude,
sister,
I still get mixed up with words. Exactly. Like sometimes on chat when we're reading it back and forth,
read it like completely out of order.
Yeah, and it's like completely wrong. So I feel like I'm slightly diagnosed with dyslexia, or maybe not. Like I could just be a poor reader.
I think the brain is so mysterious because like there's been times where we're doing a neurology case, and you'll see how when we're doing a deep brain stimulation, you can touch different parts of the brain and the person will move their fingers or they'll start speaking.
Yeah.
The brain is just the mysterious thing. So when it comes to the question of are people overdiagnosed, I don't necessarily think so. I just people think that either they have a harder time or like certain people are made to be athletes, certain people to be intellects.
Right.
Certain people just have a little bit of a harder time and just need more patience.
Right.
So the programs that actually give kids more time for testing, it can be abused and it has been, but for the kids who do need it, it's a blessing.
Right.
They're still kids. They're in high school, and they're still with their finger going word by word. And the sad thing is, certain teachers in certain areas, they don't understand that. They're like, just read. Like, your brain doesn't pick it up. And that's when I realized there's other kids with other issues, and that's what kind of got me into wanting to help people. And it was just always trying to find ways to make a difference. And I was on a peer mediation group that when there was bullies and situations, we would try to help the bully and understand what was going on, and then also see.
Really, that's an interesting approach.
Yeah, because the guidance counselor realized way before everybody else did that bullies at school are being either abused or being mistreated at home, because it starts in the home. It's a cycle. It goes down. The kid thinks it's normal to misbehave or to mistreat other people. I was like, oh, it's part of life. No, it's not. You have to, and since they're a child, they don't know how to use their behavior.
Hey, Del.
What's up?
We have more people joining in.
Okay.
Like I said, as we go, we'll have more people joining in.
Usually it takes people like a solid 30 minutes to tune in, and that's when you
it starts picking up. Yeah.
They'll start just going.
Yeah.
So can they see this afterwards?
Yeah. So this is all recorded as we're doing it right now.
Okay.
So we have people, chatting it up. And so if you guys have questions for Mr. Mike, feel free to, ask him. But, once we're done with the actual live recording, it has a backup system where it saves, and then we can take that video and post it on YouTube or send it to you. People can watch it from there. Yeah. So that's kind of how. Because we don't get reminders. What are you drinking? Oh, this is coffee.
Obviously. He says.
I will ask, so at what age did you move to Georgia?
Recently, about a year ago.
Really? Okay.
Very, very recently.
So you've lived in Florida your entire life?
My whole life.
Okay.
So, like high school, middle school and high school was always trying to, give back and helping kids.
Of course.
So, that kind of stuff is what I'm about. Then I went into the medical field, became a surgical assistant, and you can still help people that way too. So, fast forward, the only reason why I came to Atlanta is because a family friend, his brother lives here in Georgia. Mm-hmm. He fell off the side of a semi-trailer, broke both his wrists and a leg.
Oh, shoot.
So his brother in Florida grew up with me. Him and his wife are like my parents. So they called in audible and was like, hey, we know you're about to graduate from surgical assistant school. Is there any way we can convince you, right after graduation, come up to Georgia and help out?
Right.
And help take care of my brother, help him out with his business. Mm-hmm. So it's supposed to be a 3-month stint.
So how long have you been here now?
About a year.
I will ask, compared to Florida, because I've noticed this, because I was a late driver. I didn't start driving until I was 19, 18. When you started driving in Georgia, when did you start realizing how aggressive and bad drivers were? It's crazy.
I'm the opposite. Drivers. I think Florida's worse.
Hell no.
No, dude.
You leave Georgia. Leave Georgia, and people are just nicer. People get out of your way if they see you're in a rush.
I'm completely opposite. People are aggressive here. I'll give you that. But people are bad in Florida. Every time I go to Florida,
what part of Florida?
Like Orlando.
That's why.
I know, right?
Yeah, I was about to say. Right? That's all the tourists.
That's the point I'm trying to make.
The Puerto Rican drifters,
My best friend growing up. All right, his name's Gabe, and he's my Puerto Rican friend that I've grown up with and everything like that. His mom made pasteles for us growing up. Yes. The perfect dish, man. I kid you not. But
it's Christmas time.
You got to sometimes. But he moved to Puerto Rico and then moved back to Florida. But now we just keep going back and forth to see him. But every time we go back, it's like, damn, we got to deal with all these drivers. Like, fuck.
It really depends, because if you're on
Hey, what up, guys? Oh, thanks, Matt. We're at 9 viewers. Cool. All right, cool.
Yep. We just bumped up from 4 to 9, like in 5 minutes. That's how Twitch is. It's pretty funny.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, you either go on I-4 or I-75. It's crazy. Like, people can't. Like, either way, any big city where there's a lot of like foreign people, they just don't know how to drive. They just really don't.
How do you like Atlanta driving?
It sucks, bro.
Really?
Like in the city?
In the city, out here.
Okay, in the city, I'll agree. In the city, I'm not a fan of driving on 85 in Atlanta. I hate that.
I have to run and gun here. I'm going boom, boom, boom. I have to really
drive
aggressive.
Yeah.
So what drives me nuts is like I'll say it, like I'll own it, like I'm a little aggressive as a driver, but like once I start hitting Atlanta where like everybo's the same level of aggressive, like it just makes me
turn into like 80 years old, like going 2 miles an hour. Like
after Spaghetti Junction, you really have to slow down.
Yeah, that's exactly.
It's like if you're not in the far right lane, you're going like 90 miles per hour, and like the other like 4 lanes just like flying. It's pretty funny.
So question then, in terms of driving, I guess. So you do a lot of work inside of Atlanta because you're working at the Aquarium and stuff like that.
We're doing a project, yeah.
Okay, so you're doing a project at the Aquarium, but you live in Gwinnett, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So tell us a little bit about the Aquarium.
So it started off as like going back to trying to help people. I was thinking, you know what? I've been to the Aquarium a few times, but I haven't seen any inner city kids here.
Mm-hmm. Right.
I'm like, I haven't seen any opportunities, or at least the times I had been, I was like, there's predominantly more privileged kids going.
Okay. Yeah. Right.
And I was like, this kind of concerned me.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's kids here who've never seen the beach. They don't know what a stingray is. They don't know what they think the sharks is like
Jaws.
Jaws,
right.
Exactly. And back home,
Hey, Nikki.
I professionally dived with sharks. Like, I have a ton of videos on my Instagram, and that's what I'm kind of known for, like the crazy guy with the camera. I would catch poisonous snakes and swim with sharks and stuff like that. So that's what I'm known for back home. So here, I was like, you know what? Let's do something interesting. I want to help some kids out. I thought of just like, I had always wanted to have a nonprofit. And then I actually spoke to a guy. He's like, I have a dormant nonprofit. It's called Youth Empowerment.
Okay.
I haven't used it in years, is what he tells me. He's like, when I pitched the idea, I was like, look, I want to help some kids out. How do we do that? So during that time, my family and I are selling coffee from our coffee plantation in Nicaragua.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, well, if I can tie in my family plantation, we're already trying to help some kids out in the local area, trying to get them more access to education. I was like, how do I tie in where I'm from in Nicaragua and where I'm at currently in Atlanta?
Right.
And that's how Destination New Beginnings was born.
Oh, that's cool.
Our
Okay.
Our first major project for the nonprofit is this aquarium project. So let's just say by diving in the DMs, making phone calls, and just like texting people, it's like, hey,
everything's taking off real quick.
It really is. Like, it's insane mode. Mm-hmm. Like, I DM'd the main guy from Shark Week, and I was like, hey man, I'd like to do this project with kids. He's like, oh, that's super dope. He's like, is this for business? I'm like, no. He's like, what's it for? To help kids? Okay, you have my attention. And then that's how it all started.
Yeah.
And then now, fast forward, we're trying to get this project off the ground. He is doing something for the aquarium. But when I spoke to him about trying to get some kids to come in, it was just supposed to be like a field trip kind of thing. And it's kind of turned into a production. Mm-hmm. So now we have different people who are volunteering their time, gear. I got a buddy of mine who works with Marvel, and his
no way. Okay.
And he's going to be filming. Yesterday I spoke to a company where he says, hey, if you're going to be diving in the aquarium and talking to the kids through the glass, what happens if you need to get better audio? I said, I can help you guys with that. So he's bringing in some audio equipment.
So everybody's like teaming up to do all this.
Yeah, so the guy from Shark Week told me, he's like, I have these special masks that has a walkie-talkie in it. So we'll both be diving side by side, looking inside to the ballroom.
So you're going to be in the tank.
Aquarium, yeah.
Now that's fucking cool.
Yeah, that's pretty nifty. Yeah.
Like, how many people can say that? Like, we did a production.
It's crazy.
Dude,
so you're going to be in the tank with the sharks.
Yeah.
Like in the main tank. Like
Main tank.
So the sharks are going to be chilling there,
Everybody's gonna be
and
chilling
is
there.
there going to be a separation net? Like,
No.
what if they decide to get hungry?
No, man. Sharks are really chill.
Yeah, I was
They're
about
like
to say,
dogs.
Yeah, from what I can tell, because like I watch a lot of like documentaries and stuff like that.
I watch a lot of Discovery Channel.
Like late night, when it's like 3 a.m. and YouTube's been going.
George Lopez isn't playing or anything like that.
Yeah, but no, like, because what are you supposed to do when the shark's supposed to attack you? You're supposed to just like pop it on the nose, right?
Well, that's usually like a last resort. Most sharks are like dogs. So you know how a dog, the back of his hair will stand up when he's aggressive or upset? Well, sharks will do something, a mixture between cat and dog. They arch their back and their pectoral fins, they'll start going lower. Instead of being more horizontal, they start being more, and they start moving faster. And you start seeing them more edgy.
Yeah.
So before that, that's the point where you need to get out.
Yeah.
You need to back up and give them the space. You never turn your back to a shark. It's like a dog. You never turn your back because it's a predatory instinct and it's also hierarchy. Mm-hmm. If you have to ease into their space, and you also have to acknowledge and stay aware because they're watching you,
right,
24/7.
Right.
So there's times where you're diving and a shark has gone past you, but you see his eyes still on you, and he's circling around. He's watching you, and you're supposed to be watching him. Most sharks, they're not aggressive when you're especially on a reef. I don't know if you've seen on documentaries, the shark swims by, all the fish get out of its way. Mm-hmm. Shark is used to that. When an animal is not nervous and is blowing bubbles and he doesn't move and you just stand your ground, he's like, "What is this?" Like,
yeah,
that's gonna make
He doesn't like it. And plus, the sharks have what they call the ampulla of Lorenzini, which is basically an electromagnetic system that detects, like if you're nervous, heartbeat, electromagnetic fields for fish. So that's how they find, especially at night. So most people that do get the shark kind of amped up are really, really nervous people.
Yeah.
You just want to be calm, collected.
That's some crazy evolution tech.
Yeah.
Like for real, like to be able to sense in like water electromagnetic fields. Well, that's crazy evolutionarily.
Dude, fish are doing well for themselves.
We went deep sea fishing one time to catch sharks. I mean, we would catch them and then release them. So they would throw out the buoy, and then we'd drive where we'd ride the boat off, like maybe like another 100, 200 feet or a couple of 100 yards. We'd throw another buoy down, let that one sit, and then we'd circle all the way around to the first one, pick that one up, and we'd just pull out the shark and tag it up and then throw it back in. It was cool. One time, actually, we went with Eric and Anna, actually, and we pulled... We had caught an actual shark on one of them. So when we pulled it out, the shark had already been bitten off, like by another shark. Yeah. So we called it Dead Ricky and everything like that. We had a good time with it and just we couldn't do much. I mean, it was kind of dying at that point, so we had to kind of put it back.
Yeah, this wasn't our fault.
Yeah.
And the thing is, like, sharks are very high. They have their own hierarchy. So the bigger sharks, they will let you know in their presence. There's been times where a shark was not happy that I was in its presence, and they don't urinate, but they spray like this yellow mist, which is basically the urea, and
it's like marking their territory.
Exactly,
right?
It lets you know, it's like, hey, this is my zone. So since there's really no space in the ocean, it's just a water column.
Right.
It goes by areas. So the top dogs are usually at the top. So if you enter that zone, you just want to be a little bit more careful and just be more aware. And usually there's no issues. Sharks are very, 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 very chill, laid back.
Plus, I guess, like, if it's a shark that's in an aquarium that's used to having just constant...
Right, yeah. So it's probably a lot more docile than a lot of the other sharks that you'd find in the wild, obviously.
And the cool thing is the aquarium is opening the new shark exhibit, which should open in the fall. So right now, the aquarium is trying to get as much publicity for it, and they're trying their main mission is to educate and to bring awareness for shark conservation, which is where, when I was back at home, we were always trying to get shark conservation, get people motivated to protect the ocean and stuff.
Okay, so question, when is this event taking place?
We are trying to nail it down between the end of February and sometime in March. We're trying to keep it open-ended because of...
and it's a free event?
For the kids we're sponsoring the kids to come in free, and
okay.
For that. But this is something that I haven't really delved into. I'd really like to make it an event where people could come in and participate, but that's something that's up to the powers that be and and the staff. I have to get more of that information. As far as right now, the clearance that I have is to bring in a certain amount of kids, get them to come in for free, my support staff, and the people who are going to be there will have access to the aquarium behind the scenes and in that place. And it's going to be a really interesting project because we're trying to empower kids through education and through coffee. So this is happening because of coffee.
Okay, so tell me a little bit about your coffee organization, your nonprofit.
Okay, the nonprofit is called Destination New Beginnings, and it's basically the way that we're going to be empowering kids through education. So right now, it started off as our plantation has people that pick coffee.
We'll talk about that, Del. So Del and I work with clients like we were talking about that have intellectual disabilities.
Okay.
And so a lot of them are in what's called a community. It's basically like a day program.
Okay.
And so these day programs, need field trips. So maybe we could talk a little bit about getting some special needs kids involved and maybe raising some awareness for that too, or
yeah, for sure. That's something that I was trying. I didn't have any contacts here in Atlanta
Yeah.
because I'm fairly new, but that is something that we were very, very interested in doing. So because the only one that I do have is a gentleman I met 2 nights ago. He works with homeless kids here in Atlanta, the APS school system, but he personally helps out this 45-year-old man who's autistic, and he's taking him under his wing, and he's really they help each other. It's like a symbiotic relationship, and this guy that I met is one of the most life-changing and inspiring people I've ever met. Like, this guy has taken kids in from the street and fed them, clothed them, given them pocket change so that they could live.
No, that's dope.
And this guy is just the coolest, most laid-back guy, and he's teaching girls here in the city of Atlanta how to do construction jobs. Mm-hmm. He's inspiring the community by just doing all this cool stuff, and I just met him. So he's going to bring, I invited him and his friend, his name is T.
I'm going to pull up the chat for you. Keep talking. I'm pulling up the chat so that way you have a reference.
Okay, to the questions?
Yeah,
perfect.
Or whenever someone talks or says something.
So yeah, we're going to have T come in, and we want him to see the aquarium because whenever
it'll pull up right here. It's not refreshed right now, but when someone does post a new chat starting now,
okay,
you'll see. So right there.
So
yeah.
Mason. Okay. So so we're gonna bring in. His name is Terrence. We're gonna bring him in to come check out the aquarium. He was living in a van, and then Mr. Gerald took him in.
That's crazy.
So those are the kind of people I'm really trying to work with. At first, I had people tell me, "Oh, why don't you invite some of these more notable schools here in Atlanta?" I was like, "That's not the focus. The focus is low income, inner city,
lower
kids,
privileged.
lower privileged.
Yeah, I gotcha.
We're trying to give these schools
that hasn't ever had this opportunity.
Right.
Yeah,
either they're state funded or they have low funding. I'm in the process of working with the KIP or KIT schools, KIP, and have a contact there, and she's working with us.
So the girl I sent you her email. I think they have a trip planned to the aquarium already. I think it's actually in February.
Ooh.
So maybe you guys could talk and get them to kind of switch their days around and maybe get them to go a little bit later. But she's working at one of those lower privileged schools.
No
so
way.
definitely talk to her.
Yeah, we'll definitely.
I'll send you her email again.
Yeah. I think that'd be great because the idea behind it is the city of Atlanta is so diverse. The sad thing is there's a lot of disparity.
Right.
You have very, very well affluent people, and then you have very, very rare. Like
oh
last
yeah,
year alone,
yeah.
11 people died of hypothermia. So I'm going to an event on Sunday that's going to be helping kids and homeless people to have like blankets and free food. And that's what's kind of reminded me, I'm living in a bigger city. What can I personally do to make a difference?
Right.
And that's how the aquarium project started. And now
It's so strange when you like go to Atlanta and literally you could go across like 2 streets and you'll see both sides of the poverty line.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And
like
very, very noticeable.
Yeah.
Hood on the right, and then I got Beverly Hills on the left. I'm like, dang, where am I?
Yeah, what the heck? Like we were driving through where was it? We were driving through Jimmy Carter the other day going through Norcross.
Yeah.
And, you could tell which side's the lower privileged side of Jimmy Carter, but the second you cross over, it's like, oh, okay. when did I get to this neighborhood? Like,
I will say one reason that I do respect what you're doing. I'm an education major, and this semester, which I still have to write my final philosophy paper or whatever, but for my final, I did homelessness and school systems, and we. As a class, we talked a lot about how some of the school zones literally like you said literally some schools will get $1 million funding, and then some schools will get 25 $1,000 for the same amount of time, and it really is screwed over where there is those charter schools, there is those schools where they're getting a lot of funding and they're able to go to the aquarium, they're able to go do crazy cool field trips that most schools wouldn't be able to do. So I can say I definitely respect you for willing to give
step
those kids
up
an
and help them with the opportunities,
especially since you're not from Georgia, you're not from Atlanta, you're not from this area, so it just goes to say a lot that you're a good person.
Well,
it's probably gonna pop off.
Who knows? I mean, I don't necessarily see myself as a good person. I just see it as if you have the opportunity to do so and you just do it. Just do it. Yeah. Because the only reason why I agreed to do the podcast was getting the word out about the project is cool. I didn't want to be known as the guy that's doing it. I kind of like being behind the scenes, making the moves and making sure everything happens. Mm-hmm. And if it does a great job, then the people who benefit are the people who got benefit, not just me or whoever's working on the project. I'm just a guy from Florida.
Right.
I'm nothing. I don't see myself as any special or any different. It's just trying to do something different and better for the community, and now
just trying to do your part.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And give back. People, I remember, I grew up in a low-income household and we struggled, and I wanted to like I said, I've always was interested in science and doing cool things. I had a project that was like, hey, I want to make a solar car. One of these little small ones, but I didn't have the funding. Everybody else did. I went to a school that my neighborhood and the other neighborhoods, which were lower income, got zoned into the more affluent one. So all these other kids were doing these crazy, expensive looking projects, and I'm over here I want to build a solar car, and I had all these ideas, but I didn't have the funding or the means. And I clearly remember a teacher went out of her way to get me solar panels, itty bitty solar panels.
No way.
And I jury rigged them to make it I can still remember till today, depending on the tilt, if you created an omnidirectional tilt that they could follow the sun, that was the thing that I was trying to make a prototype where you could actually have a solar panel on a car that
where it always faced the sun.
Yeah.
Oh no, that's cool.
So that was 15.
Well, smart kid, holy shit.
Yeah, I was watching Star Wars.
Yeah.
Not as smart as I was getting.
That teacher, she really hooked it up, and I look back now at different key events that happened and people gave back, and they actually went out of their way to help out. So now that I'm in a position to do so,
we got the next Elon Musk here, guys.
I hope
so this guy's going to be SpaceX. He's going to be terraforming Mars one day.
Who knows? As long as we can solve some of the ocean problems that we have now, we'll be very, very better off. The ocean provides a lot more oxygen than
so you're more of an ocean guy than a space guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there's more down there. We know more about space than we know about the ocean.
No, I've read some of the stuff where we've only visited.
We've only navigated a little bit.
Taken pictures of 13% of the ocean or whatever. It's something great, or ocean floor. Or
Atlantis could be down there. We never know, man.
Who knows? And there's
Aquaman.
I might be Aquaman. Aquaman's right here.
We have Casey saying, dude, this dude is wild. Fuck yeah. I'm just trying to make a hoverboard at 12 with homemade electromagnet. I tried that too, actually. So online, there was, when YouTube actually first came out and everything, they had tutorial videos to how to make hover shoes or hoverboards.
It needs an inverter.
So you gotta. They had electromagnets that you would put on the bottom of it. They were supposed to repel the magnetic force of the Earth. Yeah.
Well, I mean,
I fell for it. Yo, Grant, my cousin's here. Holy shit.
For real?
Yes, this is my cousin. He's actually in London right now.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
He was our first, you're our second.
Yeah. He was our first podcast guest.
That's cool, man. Well, yeah, if that dude, you just need a better inverter, and if you use ion fields, and you can reverse polarity and actually.
Yeah. So you can make me a hoverboard.
I'm not gonna say that I could, but I actually know people who could.
In theory, you can make me a hoverboard. Okay. Yeah. I'm going to take you up on that. One day we're going to be coming in here with a hoverboard, just kind of swooping in.
Just floating
on the
podcast.
Yeah. Podcast on the hoverboard, on the go.
I'm telling you, Elon Musk here. Hey, whenever you get big, just remember we were here first.
We were here.
We got you first.
First interview.
Yeah, I think this is my first interview doing about the nonprofit. I have a contact at Telemundo who wants to be doing a little shoot about how we can get minority kids in on this project too.
Okay, so how do you get involved? Like, say you want to be like a volunteer for this thing. Like, do you guys allow volunteers now?
Shoot me a DM.
Okay.
Dive in the DMs.
Can we post your information after this?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
And
if you want, you can actually type it on Dylan's phone and send it.
I'm in class watching you guys.
Not
this
everybody
is more
in the
important.
chat right now is from Georgia, but I will say there's probably like a good solid couple people that might be interested.
Yeah.
Okay, so
my phone is crap.
It's all good, dude.
So he's typing his information in the chat. So if you guys are interested in helping out with the aquarium stuff, or
hell yeah, Grant, this is more important.
Yeah, I love you, Grant. But you're about to explain what your coffee nonprofit does and everything like that in Nicaragua. I don't know if I can say that word right.
It's hard.
Country. Yeah, it is hard for me. But if you guys are interested in helping out, doing some volunteer work, some mission work, that's what you guys are doing in Nicaragua.
Yeah.
So if you guys are doing that, DM him. He always can help and always need the support, guys. What do you guys think? The possibility of electromagnet transportation across the country/world.
Oh, very possible.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, they have high magnet railroads in China and Japan right now.
Just gonna read through this up there real quick.
The Twitch thing fell off.
Oh, yeah, you're fine. You're fine.
Darn androids.
I know, right? Well, just that Android, since it's it's highly broken.
So I think the thing I'm most excited about is like we're reaching different age groups. So for the little ones, every day the aquarium does a penguin walk. So they'll walk the penguins through the lobby.
That's so cool. Yeah, I would go to that.
Dope. So I'm trying to swing it so the little kids are ages like 9 and under. So
right.
I think our cap is going to be 5 and 9. They'll be able to see it and kind of have a little group following them around and stuff like that, working with the staff who are corralling the penguins. For the older kids and ones who get permission by their parents and stuff like that, there is an aquanaut program at the aquarium where they get certified at the end of the day as aquanauts of the Georgia Aquarium, saying that they did specific classes, specific discussions with
kind
the
of like
staff.
a little badge and everything like
certification,
that.
a literal
cool.
certification
Yeah.
that makes them feel like they're part of the city, they're part of making a change in ocean conservation and in animals. So the kids who qualify and who be in that age group, hopefully we can get them behind the scenes in the SEAL program, the Otter program, where they can actually do hands-on. And basically all the kids who are in an age where it's safe to take them behind the scenes, we're going to be doing special tours for them.
Oh, that's pretty dope.
And the girls, so there's two main focuses, the kids and then minority women ages middle school to high school are going to get personal tours by top-notch female conservationists. I have a whole lineup of people that we've reached out to, and a lot of them already said, hell yeah, we're in.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I can't say names now because I would just
Right.
that everything's good with them, and I don't want to name drop, but there's a lot of people who are really hardcore on Instagram, and I'm talking about really hardcore people, women who are just leaders out there.
Are they all from Georgia? Or they're all around the world.
They're scattered all
Okay,
over.
okay.
Travel down.
Yeah, everybody.
So this just started with you DMing them, right?
Yeah.
So you were just like, hey, I'm doing this cool project in Atlanta. This is for the aquarium. This is for women's empowerment or education purposes for underprivileged groups. And they were just like, hell yeah, I'm in.
Yeah, that's just basically how
it's amazing
it all
what a
started.
little good will do, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Little
So
good will
sliding
go a
into
long
DMs
way.
isn't always bad. It's worked for me before.
It's getting you places.
Yeah.
You miss all shots you don't take. So.
Yeah, exactly,
Facts.
exactly.
So now it's like everybody's like heard about it and they're like, oh, we just want to be part of it. We just want to volunteer. And like recently there was a guy who's going to be here in Atlanta shooting a car race that's going to be here in Atlanta, and he does professional sound for like films and movies. And he's like, a friend of mine reached out to him, was like, hey, there's this young buck here in Atlanta who's doing this thing for kids. The guy's like, yeah, I'll be there those dates. I'll just come in for free and bring all my gear and we'll hook it up.
What
So
the
just
heck?
people just like, hey, I
Yeah.
got this, I'm gonna hook it up just as long as I can be there. And it's gonna be like a cool hangout for like us, like the adults. Everybody who's in the ocean game, there's gonna be other companies sponsoring gear. There's gonna be companies bringing in possibly camera equipment. I'm hoping we can get GoPro to come out.
That'd be fresh.
Because one of the guys on the team who's going to be coming out is officially sponsored by GoPro. We're hoping to see who we can bring in. And it's kind of like, what can we all do as normal people to give back?
Yeah,
it's not because of who you are, what you're doing. Just like, what can you bring to the table to help out a couple kids?
Right. And I mean, like, is this Tanner, Suicidal Hamster?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's Tanner.
It is.
He said it's all about networking, but I'm a bad Twitch. She posted a little comment about how something. Does she live in Virginia?
She lives in Virginia. She goes to school in North Carolina.
Oh, I gotcha.
Okay.
But she just said something where she said her ex-roommate and best friend forever is president of the Sustainability Club at campus. So if you want to...
this is a Mr. or Miss Bet Twitch?
This is a Miss.
Miss Bet Twitch. Tell me a little bit more about what that is. What's the opposite, Mason?
I don't know
what
what
they want
you
you
meant.
to answer.
I don't know what you meant.
I go to school. Oh, I go to school in Virginia.
But lives in...
in North Carolina.
okay, right, yeah.
So,
that makes sense.
what exactly does that entail? If you can give me a little bit of details on Sustainability Club, I'm not really sure what that is.
I don't know what that is, to be honest. Just call me Batman.
Nah, okay. I think I don't know what she looks like. Requirements there. I don't know you.
I'll give her a vouch. I'll vouch for Casey.
Oh, okay. Name drop. Okay, go. So, Miss Casey, just give me a little bit of information about the sustainability and reach out. Destination Coffee Global. Make sure I have the right email.
Just keep pasting in chat. DM.
Okay, so here's that.
We keep going to the coffee thing, but then we keep getting off topic.
Yeah. Because the thing is, they're both
intertwined.
They're intertwined.
Yeah. Okay, so how do I get myself some of your coffee?
Okay, so you can go on our e-commerce website. It's Destination Coffee Global.
Okay.
And you can go on there. It's an e-commerce website.
And I can order from there?
Yeah.
Okay, so does it got good caffeine content?
Yeah, it's high altitude coffee. It's pretty strong.
Because that's all I want.
It depends on how you roast it. Because we bring it in green, and we have the option of either giving it to you green so you can roast it yourself and kind of make it like a roasting hazelnut experience. Because it's kind of neat. You got a story. You know where it's coming from. It's we can't say it's certified organic, but it is organic. We use animal waste and the cherry pods of the actual coffee we throw back in the trees, so it's sustainable, and it's a high altitude grown. It's really interesting how the whole process is working, and we're in the process of making it a green farm. We've been planting trees back on the plantation.
That's cool.
Process of reclaiming the water that's used to wash the beans.
So what kind of beans do you guys? 100% Arabic?
Yeah, it's a 100% Arabic beans, but it's got of the Catura type.
Okay.
It's grown in Matagalpa, Nicaragua, and I just got a fresh batch. So if anybody wants some fresh.
Someone actually asked if you guys have a K-cup version, which I don't know if that was a joke or not, but
I don't know what a K-cup is.
K-cup is
Keurig cups.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No.
Okay.
We're very much grassroots at this point. We would love to get in the K-cup because we have a few contests. We're interested in that in Asia.
Like if you have a Keurig, you can still use it. Because I that's how I made this coffee, but I have like actual beans that you have to grind up. So we grind up the beans and then we just kind of put it in the Keurig. There's like a little adapter thing that you kind of put in.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
We'll have to look into that because a lot of people have asked me about it and I didn't know how to answer.
Yeah, no. There's like an adapter that you have. Like I think it comes with the Keurig.
Okay.
And you just put the ground up beans in there. You kind of pack it in, twist it, put it inside the Keurig, slap it down, push the size, let it be.
No way.
Yeah. I mean, that's how I make this every day. I don't like the Keurig taste. I don't like them. I don't feel like I get as strong of a buzz. I love coffee, man. I get a good like work buzz when I do coffee.
Yeah. So it really is up to the person.
I forgot there was an adapter for it. Coffee junkie. Yeah, I am. And then Casey said her comment about basically she is the president of the club that hosts events and contacts higher ups in the school. So I mean. Yeah, she's got tons of content. I guess she got connections over in Virginia.
If you're anybody in Virginia who's interested in ocean conservation or giving back to kids, hit us up.
Yeah.
Well, for sure. There's never too many people who can give back.
Right. The more help, the merrier kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, I mean, guys, if you guys are interested in his causes and what he's doing, just please hit him up. We've posted the DM several times in the chat. We'll post it again. Do you have a Twitter?
No.
No, you don't. Okay.
No, I strictly Instagram. Facebook is like I feel like an old man. I don't really know.
Facebook is a hard social media to actually like do well off of. But if you get into like the ads and you can really get like into you have to have someone that's like specialized in Facebook to really get Facebook like.
See, I'm opposite. Like I've never used. I don't have Instagram. I don't really ever use Twitter. Like Facebook is the one thing I started with. I mean, if you don't count MySpace. Yeah. But nobody counts MySpace.
It's that dark alley that nobody wants to go
nobody wants to remember that.
So, Facebook has just been the one thing that I've always had, so.
I know Facebook more for marketing, but, like, for personal use, I never use it.
Yeah. I use it the opposite. I use it more for personal, not for marketing.
Okay. But other than that, do you guys have any other questions or any inquiries about the aquarium project? Because it's growing. Like, right now, like, it feels like by the time I end this podcast, 2 weeks from now, I'll have something extra or something more that's just grown into it. So it kind of became from one day, a few hours where kids are going to go from the field trip to we'll have one day dedicated to shooting it all. My buddy, he's the owner of 351 Productions. He is the next up-and-coming director to look out for. He is the GOAT. He is the guy. Him and his business partner, his director of photography, these guys are super skilled, bro. Like, I'm honored to work with them. One of them works with Marvel currently, and he's pretty hard.
That's a big name to work for right now.
He's a hard hitter, like he's one of those guys that the movie behind the scenes and getting everything done. Like if you have a problem or you need something to get done, you call him.
He's the guy to go.
He's the guy. And then the Russo brothers are one of the main guys for Marvel.
Yeah,
this guy is super close to like he works.
Side by side.
Side by side.
The film industry is really cool. Like usually, like people keep the same set people with them, and they bring them with every movie. Like
that's how Tarantino does it. I mean,
this guy his first movie break was, not Inception. It was the one that
Wolf of Wall Street.
No, it was another one of those like
it's a good movie. I'm just saying.
Movies.
It was another what?
One of those trippy mind movies. It was like Inception.
Was it
Interstellar?
Interstellar.
That's my favorite movie.
I know.
Well, he started on one of those movies, and then he slowly got into the Marvel, and I think he's been doing ever since like Guardians of the Galaxy. He's been working.
So he's probably worked on like the Avengers and stuff.
Yeah, he's worked on all.
So I'm sure he's in Atlanta a lot.
Yeah, I mean, Georgia's the big place to go.
And he's the most humblest guy ever. And then when I told him, I pitched the project to him, he's like, "Dude, what can I do to help?" And with me, him, and the other guy, was three of us were basically taking the lead with it, and they have really coached me. It's like, hey, we want to document this and really show people, because having the day event is cool, but actually having it documented.
Right.
He's going to be directing it. His business partner is going to be shooting everything, and just having this whole production thing where I'm in the tank, and it's going to be a show. So the kids will be sitting in the auditorium. We'll be diving down there on a tank. When we run out of air, two divers else will go back down there.
That's awesome.
Predominantly will be women. So
that's crazy.
The kid will be able to like step up to a microphone and say, "Hey, Mr. Mike, just ask me a question. Like, hey, what do you know about sharks?" Or, "Hey, Mr. So and so from Shark Week." I won't say yet. Can I ask you a question about what it takes to do what you do and use cameras underwater and all kinds of stuff?
Yeah.
And just have like random little kids like, "Hey, like sharks eat me." I'm like, "No." We want to have different age groups come up and like kind of engage through the glass, because it's like a trippy concept. You're breathing air on one side here, but I'm breathing air here too, but I'm in water.
What would it take for us to get the podcast down there?
Nothing at all. It would be dope just to have the camera running and give you guys a little spot.
Maybe we could do that one day. Like maybe when you guys are filming your stuff, we come down there and just have the podcast going. We could do kind of like a meet and greet or.
Here might be an interesting thing. Why don't you guys be like, since you guys work with kids, kind of talk to me a little bit about what you're doing while I'm in the tank.
Oh, that'd be cool.
So you guys step up to the plate. You'll have your little camera going and we're recording. So guys, stay tuned. These guys will be with us at the aquarium, and it'll be an interesting thing for people to watch. And actually, like, you'll be able to walk around and see, hey, these are the kids who got to come to the aquarium. That's my boy Mike. He's in the tank. And I'm over here being inappropriate, like, just like your own thing. I'm like, oh, this is not appropriate for kids, but it's
for the views.
It's for the views.
It's for the gram. It's clickbait. So yeah. Oh, it's just I know environmentally conscious coffee shop, and dude, definitely hit me up, because I'm trying to hit up North Carolina. I have a contact who lives in Winston-Salem, and they have coffee samples.
Okay.
So I'm a bad. Yeah.
I'm a bad.
Miss Casey, hit me up, Nasty Styles on the DM. Let's talk about that because that's really interesting for me on the coffee side. But going back to this, I would love to have you guys come out and just kind of experience it because it's going to be something that the kids don't really know where it's coming from.
Right.
But they're like, oh, cool, we get to go to on a field trip. And then, holy crap, I see a guy in the aquarium talking to us.
And he's got sharks swimming around him. That's cool for me. And
Yeah.
I'm a grown-ass adult, man.
And then when they're going through the tube, I want to have like a little part where this is something I'm trying to get. So you know how you have the main area here and then there's a tube in the aquarium?
Right.
I want to have people like lined up across the tube, like waving and like drawing people in, like, hey, come on, walk through.
Yeah.
And then have the little kids like, holy crap, like lose their minds.
Yeah.
And then when they're walking around with the penguins, I'm going to have my buddy with the camera falling really low in a shot. So when we pan back out, you'll see the kids' like sense of wonderment while they're watching freaking penguins. Like, I'm a grown man and I think the penguin thing is dope.
No, dude,
exactly.
I don't care. When I go to the aquarium, I go to the penguins. Like I go up out, like I like push the little kids to the side. Like I make sure I get up there.
Them and the dolphins.
Yeah.
Except the last time I went to go see the dolphins, they didn't have them out because I guess they were cleaning the tank or something.
Could be. I know that dolphins are very like sentient creatures and they're very intelligent, so like you don't want to have too much stress on them.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see if we can get the dolphin show because that'd be really, really cool. Everybody knows about dolphins.
Yeah.
I
want to be able to swim with dolphins. You know,
That would
just,
be cool.
Just kind of jump in.
I know
there.
they had that program there.
Yeah.
So I think for day 2, especially for the people who came out to volunteer, we want to show them how thankful we are. And anybody who does participate in this in some way or somehow, we're going to give a special day for us, the people who worked and who did everything, to us go hang out, go diving in the aquarium.
No, that's dope.
Go swim
Okay.
with the dolphins. I'm trying to make it so
everybody can be as involved as possible.
Everybody
and
has
rewarded.
a good time. Everyone.
Yeah.
And right now, like I was having talks with somebody, we're trying to bake little cookies. So if anybody wants to like help organize a bake sale or do something,
Actually, have a cookie, a company connect that I don't know. I can't really speak because I haven't tried them, but I have a friend who actually her mom started a keto like dessert company,
yeah.
and they do cookies, and like they went from her mom like doing it like basically in their kitchen to friends to like now they rent out a full like restaurant or a whole.
Oh, thank you for the bits, guys.
Hey, that's what's up.
Thank you.
But like basically they went from like in their house, and now they're renting out space. They have an office building. They have multiple company vehicles that they drive.
I wonder what it would take to get special needs and treats out there. It's a special needs organization that's just predominantly making bakeries and stuff like that, so cookies and cakes. But they utilize special needs workers.
That's great. I would love to see that.
So I mean, I think they're based in Lawrenceville.
I live in Lawrenceville, so that'd be great if we can have a sit down with them and talk about what we're doing. Because the idea was I want to have these little cookies in the shape of a shark. So
that'd be so cool.
And penguins do all the aquamarine life, like that's cool.
This is where the sad reality is. These kids are going on their field trip, and the only requirement I asked for the school was they didn't have to pay anything. I just need them to get them to the aquarium and bring them back lunches. Sad thing is, a lot of these kids, the only time they eat during the day is at school. So I was afraid that if I brought them to the aquarium, they'd have nothing to eat. So an idea popped in my head. I was like, you know what? I'll have the school bring their food, but while they're there, they'll get a little baggie of like little dessert treats with like shark-shaped little cookies. And then they're going to get food from that guy I met, Mr. Gerald. He's opening a restaurant, so stay tuned for that. He's going to be using kids from the APS, or Atlanta Public School System, to go over there and learn how to be chefs, learn how to be entrepreneurs in the restaurant business. They're going to be
start them early,
food.
man.
They're going to be making and donating food to give to those kids at the aquarium. We're in talks with that. We'll be officially having that conversation on Sunday about how it's going to happen. But these kids, when they come in, they're going to get these little either bento boxes or these little goodie bags with food for the day. When they get home, they'll have a little treat, like a little cookie or something. And I'm trying to find people to donate either toys or something, so that like ocean related, like or any like stickers, something that when they go home, like, Mom, like I went to the aquarium today and I learned about sharks, and I saw a guy not get eaten by a shark. It would suck if I did.
Oh, I saw a guy get eaten by a shark.
That was the best feature. That was the coolest thing ever. And I just really wanna. And here's another cool thing with the coffee, and that's where I keep bringing it back. I met a bunch of baristas and a bunch of coffee shop owners here in the city of Atlanta, and I told them about the project. Everybody was super stoked. They're like, oh, we want to give back. We'll put up flyers of what you're doing. I even had a few baristas like, dude, we'll come out there and brew free coffee. So that the people who were on set were doing everything. Yeah, these people are hardcore, like, coffee roasters, baristas. Like, they make all kinds of
I'm a coffee addict, man. I love coffee.
They're going to be giving free coffee. And we're hoping that we can get, like, whatever we make out of that, we can, since it's going to be still cold, still give out some of the coffee to the homeless. So Mr. Gerald will probably take some of the food and some of the coffee and some of the stuff and hand it out to the ones who need it.
Okay.
So Duze Coffee, I'm going to drop his name. He has an event on Sunday. Anybody in Atlanta, it's from 6 to 8 at Brother Moto. Bring shoes, blankets, anything you have extra, because we're trying to prevent hypothermia deaths in Atlanta. But it's going to benefit kids, and it's a really, really neat endeavor that once you start meeting somebody, he's like, oh, I know somebody else who can help you with that. And it's like, it doesn't matter who you talk to.
Somebody's always
benefiting.
So you have a lot of moving parts with this.
Yes.
Like, there's a lot going on. How do you keep up with it? How do you have the time to do all this?
It's a lot of note taking. It's a lot of like pulling out my hair sometimes, like 2 or 3 in the morning, and still balancing work, still balancing my own personal life. Like, at this point, like, it's hard to have a personal life because I'm focused so much on giving back.
Right.
That it's like the few times that I have time, like today, like I almost canceled, remember? Like, I canceled. And then I was like, you know what, something canceled last minute, and I was able to come in, and I'm trying to balance everything in the sense that it gives me a drive, a sense of purpose to actually be doing this for people.
Oh, that's awesome.
Well, we definitely appreciate you making it.
No, dude.
Yeah,
this is my
you're
honor.
a busy man. Like, I really appreciate it.
I'm pretty sure everyone that is in our stream right now has actually been here the entirety of the stream. So obviously, you know, what you're doing is very important. It's keeping people's attention. You're grasping the audience, so thank you for that.
Yeah.
No, you're making a difference, dude.
And if anybody knows or like has any ideas, please shoot us an email or something, because I want it to be something that everybody feels like, you know what, I gave this little particle of sand, because the beach is made out of millions of particles of sand, and we all love going to the beach, or people who know who've been to the beach. I want the same experience. Like you said, that person who knows about the cookies, shoot, send them my way. It's like, hey, we want to. And the cool thing is, the 501c3 is in the process of getting finalized. Everything's going good. Anything that's donated, given, any money, any gear, we will be able to write off a statement saying that you can use that off your taxes next year.
Oh, okay.
So, like, be it time, like if you donated like work hours, so if you were there for 2 hours, whatever, if you have a company and you have an employee come to the event and they're working there for free, we can basically say the hourly rate that they were working, what their normal pay is.
They can use that to deduct.
They can write off.
Okay, wow. Shoot, you got everything planned.
It's a lot. It's a lot, but I can't say I'm doing it alone. That's why I wanted to reiterate. There's a lot of people behind the scenes who are making phone calls for me. Like, somebody said, hey, I know somebody from CNN who would love to cover that story live. So CNN might be there.
That's why we
one of my close friends from Telemundo, she's a reporter for them, very well known in the area. She says, I love that you're helping out Spanish kids. Everybody in the Spanish community, you're a Spanish guy. We're representing, like, Latinos, what's up? We out here.
Gotta represent, bro.
So it's really crazy to see myself on here.
Ain't it?
I was like, it's lag, but it's like, oh, shoot.
Damn, I look good, bro.
I was like, I'm trying to hide. But, yeah, like, it's just, it started off as a few friends wanting to have a good time and get back to now. It's like,
you got a whole movement.
Yeah, it's a pressure to actually deliver.
I think you will.
Yeah, it's a little daunting.
I think, like Casey said, you keep your optimism, up there, and so I think that's kind of contagious.
Yeah.
I think your optimism is very contagious, and I'm optimistic for you, and we're gonna support in any way we can. So
yeah.
Sure. It's definitely something where I can see where this is just going to open bigger doors for you to, go out there and do.
Just keep going and keep pushing, keep
the ball moving.
Yeah.
And it all just started like it doesn't matter what age you are, as long as you want something, you really go for it. That's all. Because the main thing that got me to this point today was, 1, hard work, 2, caring about people, and me being a crazy kid with a camera. Like, that's what I'm known for back home. Like, oh, you're the dude that's over there taking videos with sharks. Like, up close and personal. I'm talking like a shark is open mouth, and it's like my camera, my GoPro's like, ah. Or I have a video somewhere uploaded that I caught a poisonous snake, and I'm trying to handle it, and I put a GoPro at the bottom, and the slow-mo caught it where the snake nearly got my forearm, but I was able to go like this and it didn't get me.
Oh, heck yeah.
So
that's awesome.
That kind of stuff, like we would sneak up on gators and just kind of film. So I have people that...
we should talk about this next week at our meeting. Yeah, we should.
I have people that like literally just like, hey, you could one day... Because my dream was always to shoot for Nat Geo or Discovery. Mm-hmm. Discovery, please. Look it up. If you're seeing this later on, like in a year or two after the project's done...
After we made it big on Twitch and everything, like...
Yeah, like, I love capturing moments. That's what I like, capturing key moments. And I love nature. Anything that has to do with the ocean or animals, I'm down. So if the companies who are sponsoring, like if they were to like say, hey, let me borrow a housing for my camera because I have a professional camera, that would facilitate so much. Like just different things that people say, hey, I'll let you borrow this or I'll let you hold that.
It's the little things that just end up making everything look so much better and just coming out so much better.
And it's like, I've had people tell me, like, dude, you have like this uncanny ability to just capture a moment and just immortalize it.
Yeah.
And like in this one of my close friends, she says, it's like, I would not be surprised after this project that Nat Geo or Discovery Channel looks at your stuff and it's like,
picks you up, man.
Dang, it's like this kid, like he's not half bad. And I'm not trying to say that to brag or anything, but I enjoy it so much that when I do it, I pour myself into it.
Right, you give it your 120%.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And she even told me, it's like, if I hooked you up or if I got people to like let you borrow gear and you learn how to use it, she says your possibilities are endless because it doesn't matter what you're doing. The way that you just capture it, it's just like draws people in. It's just like nasty mode. It's like, that's why I call it the sweetness. Like when you're filming, and sometimes you'll be in the most uncomfortable position. Like one time I snuck up on a gator in mid-water, and I was trying to get the GoPro, and the thing was, as soon as I hit the record button, the SD card failed. So I did all that effort sneaking up on this big old gator just for it to fail. I was like, oh crap! Hey,
but at least you got the experience, right?
If I'm gonna die, it better be recorded. Like,
So. Do you guys have any other questions? Anything else that's...
No, I think we're closing in right at an hour now. We are actually at an hour mark, and we're going to get kicked out of here in the next 5 minutes. So, yeah, Mike...
Because we're brown? He's
well,
Puerto Rican.
Yeah, so I kind of count.
Excuses were loud.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, again, Mike, thank you for coming on. I really appreciate you.
Thanks, guys.
Yes, thank you.
So, yeah, just hit us up on Instagram.
Mason, can you post his DMs again for anybody that's new or joining? Again, everybody, if you guys are interested in what he's doing and, want to help in any sort of way, volunteer, know of anybody that you can forward their information, get in contact with him, either it be coffee or for this aquarium event that he's doing, just let him know. Hit him up.
Yeah.
So,
and if this goes good, we're going to be going possibly to Chattanooga, Tennessee. They have another aquarium out there. There's a lot of kids who've never seen the ocean. They're in the middle of the country.
Yeah, this could be the start of your resume.
Start of just everything, just building on it. And I'm really hoping to not franchise it, but just like streamline it where, you know what, let's go to this aquarium or let's go to that one and just kind of get kids to come in for free and just...
Make it a national thing.
Make it something, yeah. Like even I spoke to the guy, he's like, why don't we just make this a national field trip day where all the kids... If the school qualifies, it'd be something to talk with the aquarium owners.
Right.
Say, look, find a way to process which schools have either low funding, where the kids are going from, if they have any homeless, because like have certain requirements where the 501c3 of the aquarium will say, you know what, we'll write off those kids' tickets, bring them in, and we'll give them a day of field trip where all these schools come in. And it's just the start of something that every year the Atlanta Aquarium will just like, hey, you know what, I'm going to foster some kids today. We're going to give them this kind of like really cool experience, and it'll be something that people look forward to. Because I'm pretty sure any business, any person in the Chamber of Commerce, anybody in the city of Atlanta was, you know what, let's put some power behind this. Let's put some funding into it. Mm-hmm. And if people are like, damn, like this is something we could sustainably do. It doesn't cost much. And it's going to bring people in to Atlanta, not just here. Because I have people possibly from Mexico coming, Canada, possibly Hawaii, California, just people are coming here to Atlanta. And with the new exhibit opening in 2020, Aquarium, let us know. We would love to just come out and check it out.
Well, Mike, like I said, your optimism is contagious, and I know everybody's rooting for you. So we'll be in touch. We'll be in touch for sure. But thank you for being on the stream. And thank you, everybody. Just DM him if you got any questions or want to help. All right. Thank you guys. Thanks for daydreaming with us.